said the biani no and then you have kasani atre adwene about ensembia ekoso ewo eye assembia ekoso e Parliament House on the 4th of February 2025. Ebra Parliament etrasia na omu esi nkonwa achese sansem no mede ho asem abro but sebe na obeka nti wo de enkwara min kobo video ne kakra enkyere wo ne tie ensem a esi on the 4th of February 2025 Parliament House ni wia eye Black Rasta abeka ensem bi ede afa sansem no ho yenso yebeka bi ede atoso yenkoni nkotie ensem no na afi no yemra ni medi enkomo kakra emfa eho
is not to generate debate. I would want to remind the House that these are national heroes. Some are on our side, some are on their side. So let us be mindful how we react when it's our turn. Obviously, there will come a time that a statement will be made in honor of the hard work of former President Nkrumah, Liman, Jerry Rawlings, Professor Mills, and all. Let us, Mr. Speaker, let us focus on their contribution.
Doctor Medra, sit down.
It's me.
That's evidence on Sani Papa Kunipa.
I don't know, this particular year, and some year, of course, we know, Mijimidi say, Ute ya pa, but I want in ya. Mamma found quite na would ye na menka asem kura, a nipa na waka, ye no. Because according to gu parliament hono omu egu honom no omu chere say nipa akasa microphone emu minority leader direction hwe nipa no ahunu baby a sound no efiri a eba but you say obia anka hwe na nipa che obi kan yempokra na nipa na wo kan ye no empanimfo ntoto ti se wo mu no omu che se omu hunu nipa kro yankọ de repeat ensem no na yewia yabekọ Black Rasta nesem no eso na nia wo se yenso yekafa ho no yedi enkomo kakra ede afa ho
Medra, sit down. Doctor Medra, sit down.
Contribution.
Doctor Medra, sit down.
It's me.
That's evidence on Sani Papa Kunipa. Doctor Medra, sit down.
It's me.
It's this particular sound I can say daughter of Medra sit down. MPCB free minority mu na otia mu kan asem no but according to mpanimfo a omo ho both majority and minority foi omo kire say obia enhunu nipa kora wo kan asem bi ade we ano den ba wo de enko anim na agya yeni enkomo emfa emfiri ho no asem na MP no kan ye no oka editia Zenato Rawlings awono ena ye MP edema kote kole taka sania na confuse me kakra ba de be hye ho den na ebra sa MP no make this statement against Zenato Rawlings JJ Rawlings ne baba no ade se kote chlore for no kote kole ade we nso dia no den yes clote kole for no ade se omumu nipa bi eba ebe postu anase omu beka ensem bi a ensem no ene da o screen no eni no wo de ma menkan emu asem ne kakra enkyere wo na afeye ni enkomo emfa emfiri honom wo say according to their post no emu nsem say a delegation from the Clotekole constituency today presented a petition to Parliament on disparaging comment made against their member of the House, Dr. Zenato Ajaman Rollins on Tuesday, 4 February 2025. Achesa sa eye post we say no. Ena Clote Kole delegate anase empanimfo a wo honom no. Ese eye comment na minority fo no anase MP a ofri minority mu eka editi a eye Zenato no. Eye ade so mani nye ho kra enu nti no omo ehye eye omo de adesere eba abeto eye Speaker of Parliament enim say nipa kura oka sa ensensem no obebo modern na watwen enipa no aso na sasem we say eba ye no. To be honest and to be frank with you no eye ade bia e kire how serious are and I say yes eye ade say e kire how level of maturity, the maturity level of our MPs, no, said they see etie. I just want to say most of them, no, they went there to play. They don't have any vision. They just say minimum agenda that will mutirim because I was a basa until Sabasa young queen. Because I was not expecting say MP able to me and make this statement. Ewo ebra business ekoso anase ebra parliament atenasia omu edi enkomo efa business anase serious issues I was not expecting it at all. Anutino number 1 say watch video na mebo edit kire wo na on say even the minority leader eye afenyo markings kura no why shocked asem na ekoso no anya de asem no say ya no kro se enya no kro anya ne de na sansem we say ba ya eye Clote Kole delegations ya America anasa delegation America omo ensemi edichire we no omo de petition ebre eye speaker abamba ben se onhwe na eja wone MP kro na obie na no eka sansem hunu no enie no eye ade se Black Rasta enso ababonten abebo eye sa MP kro no abaso se MP na ya ade na wo de yankoni enkotie Black Rasta wono ne nsem a odi tu dwa no na yewie a yenso ye beka ye de ede atoso meso ya na so do adwenkyere ato comment section no ase ne edin komo ede efri hono ya kwa video ni su de na meso se won subscribe to YouTube channel ya but mo de na subscribe na turn on the notification bell se de be ye na the video bia na update bia ebeto so a won sabe tumi aka na won so anya bi ahwe se wo hwe ye ede efri eye Facebook nso a eye no follow WhatsApp TV no abeka WhatsApp TV ebusuaku na ho drop a comment no so say de mekan no eto comment section no ase yebedi nkomo ede efri ho no medase afa yenko nyenko tie eye Black Rasta nesem a ode ebetu edwa no na yemra
now why are Anglo chiefs interested in this matter? There's a lot of unemployment in Anglo. There's a lot of flooding in Anglo. They have a lot of problems in the area, yet they are interested in this matter. Let's ask ourselves, why are they interested in this matter? It's so clear. You know it and I know it. Rawlings was an Ewe man. That probably is the reason the Anglo chiefs are very interested in knowing the identity of this person who has meted out this disparaging remark in their own words. But please, let us look at this thing clearly. Rawlings was an Ewe man and a Scottish man. We are expecting that the Scottish people would also come out and say that they are interested in knowing the identity of this lawmaker who uttered those disparaging remarks. My brother, my sister, it looks like in our country, tribal sentiments most of the time are very, very sensitive. We have to be very careful what we say. We must be extra careful what we don't say. My brother, my sister, can I now tackle this issue? Let us go into it and look at it carefully. Now, Anglo chiefs have decided to give the speaker 4 days to unravel the mystery in Salter, in quotes, or else, ... And this revelation would help the next course of action. My brother, my sister, the person who called Zenator the daughter of a murderer, was he right or wrong? My brother, my sister, in the days of Rawlings, we suffered terror. Those of you who were not yet born in 1979, we saw horror in this country. People were abducted and killed summarily. We saw judges abducted and set ablaze. My brother, my sister, the mystery of which, my brother, my sister, is still pending in the clouds. Rawlings denied involvement, yet it happened in his regime. In the regime of Rawlings, we saw women in Kajetia market stripped naked and whipped in their vaginas. We saw people abducted and taken to the Gonda barracks and some other such barracks and shaved with blunt instruments and blades. We saw, my brother, my sister, people who were carried away and beaten, most of whom we were told were dead, and carried all the way to the morgue at 37. One of them finally survived. He went on to move into exile and later came back into this country to become a minister of energy. Do we all remember this person? It was all in the days of Rawlings. Can we run away from the heinous crimes of Rawlings in his regime from 1979? The several murders and bloodshed. And even at the time, Ghanaians were asking Rawlings to let more blood flow. How do you let blood flow when you don't murder people? Rawlings was a murderer. It's the truth. What are you running away from? So when people die, when murderers die, they all of a sudden become saints? Is that what you are saying? Because we live in a country where Atayi all of a sudden will become Saint Atayi because he's dead. Say no bad thing about the dead. That is your motto. Until we start to shame the dead, like they did in Belgium when Leopold II died and they threw his dead body right in the middle of the street for people to hoot at and spit at. My brother, my sister, crime and foolishness will never ever stop in this country. Rawlings was a murderer, my brother. When the elections came, listen attentively, and listen, people were killed in the reign of Nana Akufo-Addo. What did we say? That Nana Akufo-Addo murdered some people during the elections. Mahama says when he comes into power, he would institute an investigation into it, and he started already. My brother, my sister, who do we say killed the people? They said Nana Akufo-Addo did because it was his regime. Rawlings was a soldier who went into a bloody coup d'etat. Bloody coup d'etat. Shot and killed many in order to gain power. Should we give him a bouquet of flowers for the coup d'etat that saw the lives of many go down the drain? Was he a saint? Was Rawlings a prophet? Have we so soon forgotten our history? The bloodiest coup d'etat that ever happened in this nation was instituted by Rawlings. He killed many in order to become leader of this nation. Is that not a murderer? So I am wondering why there's so much noise. And the coward NP who also mentioned it and cannot own up and come out and say, hey, I said it, and these are my reasons for saying that. That is the most cowardly, more cowardly than Baumia. If I had the opportunity to stand before these chiefs, I will honorably ask them to tell me how you would define or call a man who murdered many in order to become leader, in whose regime innocent judges were carried out, including a woman, killed and set ablaze at Bondazzi. Why can't we speak the truth anymore? What is wrong with us? Zenator is the daughter of a murderer. That is correct. But does that make her a murderess? No. She cannot inherit the crimes of her father. Do we understand that? But that does not mean she is not a daughter of a murderer. She is. Let us call a spade a spade. Should we call Zenator the daughter of a pastor, or the daughter of a reverend, or the daughter of a saint? No. We saw the bloodiest violence in this country in the reign of Rawlings. Many people went down the drain. In my days as a little boy, anytime Rawlings' name was mentioned, we all ran under the bed. I was only 5 at the time Rawlings took over power in 1979. My brother, my sister, we have seen so much bloodshed in this country, all in the days of Rawlings. And today, if his children are being described as the children of a murderer, and we are crying, Anglo chiefs are all coming out, they want to know that these are disparaging remarks. What is disparaging about a murderer whose children are called the daughters and sons of murderers? Do you think that they would ever call the daughter or the sons of Kwame Nkrumah sons and a daughter of murderer? A murderer? Would they ever say that? No, because Nkrumah murdered nobody. In the days of Kwame Nkrumah, there was nothing like capital punishment ever endorsed by Kwame Nkrumah. They rather attempted to kill him several times. But even with that, he was still very tactful and level-headed. He never ordered the pulling of a trigger. In the days of Rawlings, the gun was the master. Soldiers were gods and demigods. When we saw soldiers on the streets, we ran. Some of you are so young, you do not understand what it was in 1979 and all the way after 79. We saw blood. I saw blood. I saw people shaved and beaten to pulp. You dared not say anything against Rawlings. Yes, thankfully, Rawlings also paved the way for democracy. But that does not erase the fact that he was a murderer. I'll leave it here.
Anutino way and Samoa Black Rasta ede ebaba tu edwa e wosi to me a pensem because this guy is talking out of he's talking from, let's say, out of pain. Yes, he's talking from out of pain. And yet fairness and not what the air kasa. Now we should call a spade a spade. Said you would see a car ewo ninsem emuno. Menya angoloni ena menya ewe eni. Ena menya your friend say ebia tribalistic any idea. Debi. Ye can't some no said ye asem no isi etie. On said this kind of if sek me yusu word we say na se bege ya. Se me yusu na se ano edin amon fan cheme. This kind of stupidity a comparisons no and this kind of minusu dempo me pese me yusu harsh words, something like unthinkable statement aya na enipa bi ebeye no ya na mente ase. Because if you are matured enough, there are some things if you are about to say, you need to think one and twice and son will be one no akasa. afa mame nso me page eye Black Rasta eba bekasa no wo kire say unemployment wo Angola say Angola say hen o ka say mmea no ehonom enye ene yanka ne say so enkoso ana impuntuo eni honom enu nti no ankosanka people of Angola ebo modia na omu edwene those things no ho nemum eni kwan sen komu ba bekasa ansem we eho asem. So the question goes back to Black Rasta. Na question no ene say enu nti no se unemployment ewo honom rate no ewo soro ekuro no mefa ne se bia emu efin ebia schools eni honom ebia ensupa eni honom a omunom ebia ahokyere ewo kuro ne mu enu nti no ade bi ba na nya eni kwan se omuka ho asem ana. This is my question, because this same question and I say about LGBTI ho ensensem ho a eya LGBTI for no eba beka say LGBTQI for omu de ndie be de betimi kra start no ZYZ because a plus into betimi de mix ya se eba se ye ka omu ho ensem a omu tumi eba beka kire yen say ena Ghana schools enkwada eho kire wo mu ena Ghana ahokyere ewo honom economy no enye enu nti no ye attend to economy ni mum na ye nyai omu asem a ye ka no in a way so because na or kire wo say we are stupid, you don't have sense, because ade na wo ka ho asem no in their minds no eni kwan say anka wo beka enu nti no wo wafa sa ade no atawani ase a wo ka eno although say ade no anya nti na wo ka no in their minds no they see you say ebia unim nyansa say oti de mechas nti I say no in a way no Black Rasta wadidi anwulafo empanimfo ya omo say omo petition asem yi de ama speaker no wadi o matempa. Yes, na yam breaking no down say JJ ekum nipa say JJ enkum nipa no yamfa eno no ento enseniani na afei yemusa ye ho ensem bi emfa emfiri ho no. Doesn't mean say JJ ekum nipa ninti no or say to me a target say woye a murderer ana, and the answer is no. Ebia ube to me aka for just for saying sake, but so what kind of for saying sake in pokrana the environment now wujina no and also should be considered, because Parliament House bia ye jina ye shemra honom ena womu a those called empanimfo a omu shemra emaye no womu eguo ti asem ni yo na emra no nso sesey emra no kire se ye chi obi se oye kromfo na ye de no kɔ eye court na court etumi justify say oh wa hunu hwe emfiri enipa no ho a ewomu se enipa no awie ade mumu de nanso no emra nanim de untumi nka se enipa no eye kromfo ema no eyeye anu ti so tumi koka se enipa na kromfo a emra mu no obetumi de wagina baabi a wompe yenti asem ni yo. And this unknown anonymous MP wa kire yen say parliament honum na omu nyina omugu honum, they are not serious enough, because both majority NPP for no crowd make say okay ebia omu nim nipa kra o kan ye but omu save no ekakra enti this majority foi NDC foi ya omu hoi enti omu pa kire say time na conversation no ekoso no na omu da na medical na omu adeda na, because enye se ebia voice na ekoso no ekoso once and it try it was something I nipa no repeat himself about 3 or 4 times. Eti MPC majority foi na omu adana. Okay, yamra back to ensem ya ye kenso. and no actually say young politicians they are not serious. They are not serious. Because so obi atumi agina eye parliament house baby aye shemra akan biribi a woni ho evidence nemum evidence a one say enipa no akum nipa but emra no enka say nipa no akum nipa anase emra no enchi nipa no emma no yemfa nse ebia wakum nipa nti ama no criminal record anase wakum nipa nti ye de no ekọ akotum na wudi kan ekase ebia enipa no enam se wate se wakum nipa nti ubegina baby aye shemra na waka na wa justify wo ho repeat no so many times just because say ya te se nipa no akum nipa eno no in the way no amfa nyansa anya adwuma. Minim sadia meka so wote ase a baby a nipa no eka asem no a wrong place. Enunti ene nipa no to besine ona ne ho adi. Ona ne ho adi. According to Black Rasta, waka say ena people were calling for the blood to flow. Eti I say no so the question they say jari ekum nipa bi mpokura na in whose consent ana jari ejina so a odikum nipa no eya people. Eti if says people no a demand dia na se enipa no aye sa de na yenkasa de na wo ye no enyo but ye ka se ye ka biribi yenkasa sa de na wo ye no eye dabi yenka de sa but said the American ye can say nipa no ejina parliament house na okasa asem no eno eho asem na ye ka say na eno eya na the answer is no, because emrano your friend say emrano emfa anase obia antumi amfa jeje ankwa ko gina court anase ba bia jeje eko ye bia no otumi justify no ho a eno ne sa ne ntumi en classify ne se oye medra because eya law no nko amu ena ye betumi agina ye beka se obi atumi adiewu ye wo attack and defense e wo ho no so obi attack na wo defend ho na wo kum nipa na wakum nipa no but you are not a murderer. Until say court e betumi approve say ampa we ye medra no eni kwan say anase obi ntumi nyina baabi emfa ne nsa enkyere wo say you are a medra eno ti no eye sa MP na ogina ya wo kan ye no in a way no na adwene e wo form ena Black Rasta nso a ono so defended this MP no am say yaudie bi because wo kan I saw blood and you saw blood in tear eno ne kire say omfa no kora no entu baabi anokora no eda. In this a year, Asemia is seeing a Black Rasta ababonti a wabekan die. Me in my opinion, muno, me hunu say Black Rasta enya de say e was so even though say me kasa ni yo even though say ebia jari eba yempo say bia ne busuani bi ho kan ye kra na eni kwan say otumi esoso because baby ani ho no mo a ye di jari akwa gina ya prove ni say wo ye medra anu ti obi gina parliament house a ye hyemra e wo honom na emra hye bedwafo yi enso enim say law court no ana say court of law no prove say wo ye medra na obi etaga wo say wo ye medra in a way no obetumi asiu nipa no no ababa be kirikirem. Enti se ka anate na wate ena wo kan bi dia you need to be careful baby a wo kan no ena won so wo defend obi a wo kan be out of ignorance no you too you need to be careful because wo Black Rastas ye fra wo sesi a say prove ena wo hunu say jeje ekum nipa obetumi aka for say oka but say unya nyina so papa bi agina so no untumi nya enu nti no ade ba ko a mepesi esua ewo saa ensem we sei ehwo ne se asamo pa yanka ne se de esitie enu nti na panimfo kan sem bi se nya no kure bia na yeka se wan hwe the circumstances around you na wan hwe the place a wo na wo bie wa no bagaya at the end of the day na don ho akoto asem. This is my opinion. Say ade na MP no eye no we must condemn it, because in the first place okay say angonofo no e wo problem see they should think of their problem no not this and no kran what debate and no so eye atemdidie say dia mema examples no say ye ka LGBTQ and whatever it doesn't mean say Ghana ahon kire ni ho but we know say ye e course no enye enti the question is say adentina eye MP no e kan asem no the minority MP no o kan asem no eye ade say afenyo markings etwi nanim na ya ade anka ya se de enim afenyo markings no anka obetwi nanim anka wonye enuti say your friend say ayifoi clote call foi etumi petition eye speaker say speaker also tumi omo ma speaker 4 days say speaker entumi enyi nipa nimpie no ntwe na so no okay okay pa wamra no mekere adekudie ntia wo gina so a offer Jerry John Rollins say and as offer Senator say we a daughter of a murderer omra no mekere mu na se Ghana for ye nimu a ne afa bi ne enso de atu yentrim ne ya no na ne ba bi aye nam bi are so ye ka ba se nya sa pa de ayempanimfo ya na se MPC a umugugugu ade we de ya na ano edi this so-called MPC no most of them are so-called MPs because they don't qualify. They are not qualified. An opportunity no so abamu no omu misbehave anyhow. And in my opinion no said ye eye clote call for empenim for no asore no me back wo mu Speaker of Parliament I was say utumi etie petition na umde abetu anim no na utumi eye bibi efa ho because ebekọ akoye ensena ho bi ede ato honom ama obi abekeka ensense hunu ebre nipa no enyini nyina so all because say what take keke ana ohunu ye without evidence. Drop adwenkyere efa to comment section no aseni ni komo efa imfiri honom osusu say ade a black rasta eka yi no ne kwan so eno no say yem baake na speaker now oka ye no yemmo na baso say aye friend say MP now okasa ye no yemmo na baso say waka sa ensem no ana in the other hand the crown so no Jerry John Rollins on TSB and until o kan we ade agu ne ma animu ase no is something that person needs to come out and prove to Ghanaians say or not so the stance out ujina or the eka including a black rasta himself. Drop a comment leaning come in free honor. Message so one subscribe to your YouTube channel ya but more than subscribe not turn on the notification bell. We are not like a video see ede amaye. Mr. Pa na watch video no ede amaye. Say o Facebook nso ya na wa follow ye na yetumi edi enkomo ede e free honor. Follow never can WhatsApp TV ebusuan eno eho. Yabasa share bio. Now until then, dear. Background.